Hello, everybody. We are live. This is the regular event for Rundfunk mitbestimmen. It's Mariam, Matt, Mike, and me. Yeah, and we just we were talking about a wrap up of last time. We had some questions. Last time we were working on the FAQ feature that you have a deep link to a particular FAQ. This particular FAQ should be highlighted or emphasized in some sort. Last time we decided to go for a modal that will open. And now we are we're facing some side effects of that. So when you click the close icon on the modal, then you cannot click on the link again, and the modal will pop up. And that's what Matt was asking about. And there are two different things. So we have a strange mixture of putting the logic into the route. So when you reach the route, then something happens, and putting some part of the logic like redundantly into the component. So if you are already on this route and you have the page rendered, and if you click on the component, then the same thing should happen again. And now we're going like we are facing certain errors because of that.
I was just going to get things started. I don't know if you wanted to share your screen, but I was just going to get things started here. And I've noticed that since we I guess maybe last time or the time before that, I think the time before that, we started getting, we merged with develop.
Yeah.
Or master, I can't remember what it's called. But since we did that, this foreman doesn't work anymore. Was that removed?
Cannot find foreman. Go find spec for. How about gem install foreman? So foreman here is a globally installed command. It's not part of the gem file.
Okay, cool.
And there you go.
That's it. I thought I tried that and it didn't work. But
did you update your Ruby?
Yeah, to 2.5.1.
And that's why. So you have
actually. Yeah.
You have your Ruby version manager. Let it be RVM, RBNV, or change Ruby. 3 different options. What do you use?
I'm on RVM at the moment.
Okay, so from the behavior, I would say that your gems are installed in a folder, which is a subfolder of your current Ruby.
Yeah.
So when you change your Ruby executable, yeah, the version of your Ruby interpreter, all your gems are kind of lost.
Yeah.
You can check that by entering in another terminal gem space env, so gem environment. I think that should give you the folder to your gem home.
Gem what?
Env. Short for environment, env, just like that. I think it's a subcommand. I'm not quite sure. So there you can see gem path home/met wr18.rvm/gems ruby -250. So if you switch from Ruby, I don't know, 2.4 to 2.5, also your gem home folder will change. It's empty first, and there you go. And then that's why you have to install all your gems again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I think you went too quick, Robert. Yeah.
Say it again.
You went so fast. Can you repeat it with the gem? Not seeing whatever was already installed.
I didn't get it. Like, do you want to repeat that command?
I just want you to repeat the concept. Like, what's happening with Matt's environment?
Yeah, sure. So there are many things here. So first of all, you have your Ruby executable. Like, yeah, why not? Let's explain the concept of path, or like what actually happens if you type anything in your terminal. Just type any word in your terminal, please, Matt. Just type anything into it. Pizza, for example. So the terminal answers you that it cannot find a pizza because it cannot find in all your folders where it usually looks like, where it usually searches for a command with that name. It couldn't find any file with the name pizza, right? So we could check out what Matt, for example, has in his path. You could, for example, say echo space $path.
With Fishtail, you can't use dollar, can you?
I think that should work. Yes.
Okay.
So there you go. And this is a list of folders separated by colons. So if you type any word like pizza, it will first look into the folder /home at wr18.rvm gams ruby 251 bin. In this case, it's separated by spaces. So Matt is using a shell that separates those folders with spaces instead of colons. If you're using bash, you will see colons instead of spaces. So we have a list of folders. Now, could you please edit a file in folder, where do you have user rights? For example, like, why not? The first one, create a file in the first folder of your, like, home at wr18.rvm gams ruby 251 and bin.
You want me to open with Vim? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just any file and name it pizza.
Okay. So create.
No, that was just right. Oh yeah, like that. You can also do that. So he's now creating just first of all a file in /bin for binary, by the way. Bin is short for binary. This is a folder, so you should touch a file in that folder. So same thing again, but pizza.
Yeah.
Now there's a file pizza, and then you can open that file.
Oh yeah, if I do use Vim though, like I put there, if there's no file named pizza, then it will create a new file.
Yeah, that's the touch command.
So that would be easier than putting in twice.
And now I'll say echo pizza, string pizza. Or pizza is very delicious. Or I like pizza. Or pizza exclamation marks. Yes, nice. And save that file. And maybe make it executable. So change mode, change modal, chmod, and +X for add executable permissions to that file. So your terminal will usually refuse to start files. In Unix, we have three different permissions: read, write, and execute. And he's now adding the execute permission to that file. And now type in pizza.
Pizza. Hey, pizza. Oh, wait. Is marked as an executable, but could not be run by the operating system.
Maybe you should add so-called shebang to the file. So you add the first line is a comment. I think it's hashtag exclamation mark and then /user/bin bash or something like that. I think shebangs start with hashtag and let me see. Bash shebang. So this is like a hint for the operating system.
Bin bash.
Bin bash? Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, I think it's here. So this is the Stack Overflow I just found. And you can just type in, I don't know, any of those. So this guy tells you to use that one. Yeah.
You should use this one. Okay, for portability. Does Ving? Can I copy and paste?
Yeah, capital C is change the entire line.
Oh, okay. So then.
No, in normal mode, capital C. Huh? What did you do?
I just deleted the.
Ah, yeah, nice, good, yes, safe. I think now it should work. Pizza.
And you can see when you have it in, I don't know, this is probably just fish, but it turns from red to blue if it has the ability, if the command can be found.
There you go. So does that make sense for everyone? Can everybody follow?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that's why when I say Ember, for example, then it's gonna look through the node paths.
Yes.
That's what you were explaining earlier to Mike.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the concept of the so-called path environment variable. Like, it's so fundamental. It's this concept like that everything is a file. This is the philosophy of Unix. And if you type something in your terminal, if that's not a built-in command, then it would look through your folders and search for a command with that name. And if it cannot find a file, then it will tell you command not found. Right?
Yep.
And that's why, if Mike Ono, you had troubles to, like, you had Ember command not found, I think, and that's because you are installing Ember with a package manager. The package manager will install it somewhere in your home directory, I guess. And since this folder where it installs Ember 2 is not in your path, it will never find that command. Solution, you just add it to your path environment variable. Now the same concept applies here with the with RubyGems. This command gem install also installs third-party applications, commands, plugins, whatever, into a folder. And we just checked where this folder is located. And on Matt's machine, can you add a gem environment again? Gem env. Yeah, so this is the entire path variable. And gem will first find this command gem somewhere on his path. And environment is like, where does gem installs the other Ruby gems to? Like, gem is the package manager for all other packages. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Think like of Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all. Like one package manager to rule all packages.
Makes sense.
Right? So it will find gem first. Cool. And gem environment will tell you where gem installs packages into. And it might be that, for example, Matt has misconfigured his system, and this gem path right now is not part of his path environment. That would lead also to, like, Matt could be able to run gem, and he would be able to run gem install something like gem install Rails or gem install whatever. But running Rails would result in a command not found. This is the equivalent behavior of your case. Like, you had a node installed or npm installed somewhere, which could be found. Like, you could enter an npm install, and you could say npm install globally Ember. Like, globally is -g. But you had a misconfigured. You didn't add the folder where npm installs to your path variable, and that's why Ember couldn't be found. Does that make sense now?
So if npm installs Ember in directory X, and then I want to find Ember, Bash will find npm first, and then go to the directory where it installs whatever application it was installing, say Ember, and then look for Ember there.
Yeah, kind of. We can go through it. Matt, could you type in which gem? which, by the way, gives you the folder where gam is installed. So this is the absolute path to the executable of the command gam. And now we can double check, yes, and this is the folder where npm is installed. Now we can double check if you type in echo path again, if those two files are in the folder, in any of the folders in path. So I can see that gam, for example, is in the very first folder of your path, be found immediately. npm, on the other hand, will be found in.
This is the RVN rubies first. Is the.
Oh yeah, it's user share RVM rubies, and then so it's not the first one. It's actually there. Yeah, there you go.
No, but that's not the gem at the end. It's bin/gem. Bin.
No, bin is fine. Like that's the parent folder.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So it's
Right.
in this one here.
Yeah.
No.
So it will be found there. While npm is. Can somebody see it already?
Yeah, it's here. I found it already. It was, where was it? It was here in the bottom. Here. No. Here. No?
NVM versions node.
Yeah, it's an NVM versions node.
Version 8 bin. Yes, that's the one. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So this is where it finds gam and npm. But let's say you want to run something that was installed via npm or gam or whatever package manager. For example, Ember. You can type now which Ember, Matt?
Ember CLI?
No,
Or
just
which-
Ember.
Ember.
There you go. So Ember is on Matt's machine, is located on his home folder, .nvm versions node. So same folder where also npm is located. Right?
Yeah.
So will also be found. But in your machine, Mike, I know, it was another folder.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this folder wasn't added to your path.
Yes.
And that's why. And that's why you did why you had this Ember command not found error. Right?
Okay. Because it was installed in a different folder.
Yeah. Why not? Why you can also share your screen and show it.
Yeah.
Can you show your screen? Just open a terminal and do the same thing. Like type in which npm, which Ember, and echo path.
Sorry, I was on mute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to type which npm?
Yes. There you go. And which Ember?
Ember.
Yeah, you can already see that those two commands are located in two different folders. And now
Yeah.
you can also enter echo.path, $path. And since you're using bash, we can see that those folders are now separated by colons.
Yeah.
And so npm was found because somewhere you have user local bin as a folder. Second line on the left.
This.
No. Like, oh yeah, that's where it finds Ember eventually. But npm is in the user local bin, which was in your path already, and you added the folder user local seller no 1060 bin to path, and now also Ember is found.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
On that machine, both commands are in the same folder. On your machine, both commands are in different folders, and that's why you have the error.
Okay.
Right? Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So got that.
Yeah.
Was
Thanks.
that helpful for you, Mike? Like the other Mike Dong, and Mariam?
Yep, does help.
Yes, does help a lot.
Nice. So I can see on Matt's screen that you still have other questions.
Yeah. So we had the I opened the frequently asked questions page, and like I guess the first thing maybe that we noticed or something that really was the styling, that they're kind of, the links are kind of small and stuff, but we were trying to focus on this, that the closing link redirects to the frequently asked questions, and I guess I put a question mark because we wanted to verify that whether that was what we actually wanted, or like you suggested, maybe when the person clicks on one of these links that it triggers.
Yeah, I guess I'm suggesting too many things, huh? Last time we had the modal thing, and now I changed my mind and suggested you something else. I apologize for the confusion, but I'm also not quite sure what's the best user experience here.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it with a modal. I know that modals are unsexy because people are so so accustomed to modals that they immediately click on the close icon. Like they don't even read. Close. Go away. It's you're an ad. Like, I don't want you. And that's why I was thinking about, is actually a modal the right thing here, or should we use something else? And I wanted to ask you if you know other examples from the web where you have some content emphasized, like you have a list of items and one item is emphasized. And if you know a place on the web where you have something like that.
I guess I'm most familiar with like just having the anchor, where you click on whatever, a link, and it leads you directly to that part of the page, and that works really nice with single application pages. But did you notice? The other thing is, like, real quick, and then is here in Chrome, it looks really dark when you try to deep link to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely very dark. It should go away. Like, it should brighten up after you clicked on the close icon. Now it's gone.
So yeah, like when you click on, even if you don't deep link to it, if you click on it,
there's something wrong. There's definitely something wrong, because there should be a modal popping up.
Yeah, there is. I don't know if you can't see it, but there's a here that says data privacy.
There's a bug. The background should be dark while the modal should be normal.
Yeah,
this is a bug. I think when you, I'll just paste a Stack Overflow link. I think when you click on it, you have something like an effect that I'm, So when I click on my browser, I'm using Chrome now, and I click on the last link I shared, then it scrolls to this content, and it also highlights it like with orange effect, like an orange animation. It will be highlighted in orange, and then slowly, within 1 second, it's turning white again, like the background of that question, or like the answer.
Yeah, right.
I put it into the Google Hangout.
Okay.
Can you see it, or is it too? Like, can you see the animation?
Are you sharing your screen, or?
No, I'm sure I'm sharing your screen.
Oh, so where would I see the animation? Sorry, I'm not seeing in my browser. I'm not seeing that at all. No. In Chrome,
if you just click on a random Stack Overflow link, like that was shared, like if you click on the last link in the Hangout, in the chat.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The transmission is too slow. I cannot see the animation. But when I do it, like, every one of you can click on the link, maybe, and
maybe Matt can refresh the page or something.
Yeah, okay, I saw that. Yeah, I've used this actually before with on a project that I did. That's I think it's in jQuery. That's called highlight.
I would actually prefer something like that over a modal, I guess, because modals are people get put off by a modal.
But I think that sorry, I don't know if I cut you off, but but so there's a couple things that I noticed about. So when I click on this link, that it leads me to the other page, and it scrolls down to the answer, and then it does that, highlighting, so it calls people's attention to it. So, but that brings us back to the original problem that we're having, that we need to find a way for this reset scroll position to not. I mean, I don't know if it's being. You said there's no reason it should be inherited, and I have no reason to just. But it seems like it is being inherited for routes that are like empty routes, because it's not just on the frequently asked questions page. Like so what we did was we put this anchor on the landing page, and then when we clicked on the link on the landing page, it we were able to get it to scroll to the ID when I was on single page. But when we put it on any other page, that like the About Us page, for example, that also has nothing inside of the route, it automatically scrolls to the top of the page.
Yeah, I have no idea, honestly. I don't know why it should not do it. Like transitions in Ember, we learned it from last time. It's not the usual behavior of HTTP requests, and the whole page is refreshed, and the position of your viewport is on 0. Like that would be at the top. Your viewport, the position of your viewport can stay the same. If you're on 2000 pixels and you transition to another route, it will maintain the Y position, like from the top, like of 2000 or 1000 pixels. This is the usual behavior. I have no idea why this is not behaving as I would expect it. I haven't checked it out. I cannot tell you why. Maybe it's in the main application route. So there's application route that is like the mother of all routes in folder routes application JS. This is something like all routes inherit from. Yeah, but this should not
the first layer.
Yeah, this is the first layer, but I think this has all to do something with authentication, not with scrolling behavior. And also, I mean, one solution could be, if you have this reset scroll position, is you reset it first to 0 and then you scroll into a component. Like in the same way you have the modal being opened, the same way you could scroll into a component.
So here's that mixed in, but like you said, there's no reason why, if we're not explicitly imparting this reset scroll position, there's no reason why it should work on pages where it's not being, like here on broadcast, it's being imparted, right?
You could just copy the route mix-in. You could just copy the method activate. Apparently, there's an activate hook on a route, so you can just copy that and put that into your FAQ route. You could say active. No, that's a component.
Yeah, not this one.
You could say scroll to 0, 1000, for example, and see what happens.
I believe that we tried to change, not here or here. Yeah, this is the FAQ route.
This is the index page. Can you maybe go to the single route, like the specific FAQ route? Or basically, since this one is nested inside the index route, you could also put it here, because it will run this hook anyways.
We tried adding an action here, and it didn't work.
Say it again.
We tried before adding an action there, but it didn't get called.
So you tried that? What were you doing right now already?
No, we tried it with the closing action.
On the closing action.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I think, Miriam, do you remember? I think that we tried actually even changing this scroll to position on the original mixin.
Yes, we
that
like,
didn't seem to.
commented it out, and the behavior was still there.
What?
Yes.
Very strange.
Although I don't know if that was because we're not actually importing it in our frequently asked question. But
maybe remove line 8, because I think that's just like run any parent hooks if there are any. And now scroll to not 00, but 2000, something like that. What's the screen resolution, Matt?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, it should be visible definitely now. Like if you refresh, you should see the footer.
Well, yeah, I would need to leave. I can't just go to single, no, because that doesn't. Or can I? Yeah, that doesn't exist. I need to go to who are you?
No. Can you put in console log and see if this hook is actually executed?
This is that one. Yeah, this is that.
Transition to route is only valid in a controller or a route, but you cannot run it inside a component.
Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. This is okay.
Yeah, this should be okay. No, not yet. But could you enter console log and just tell us if this activate hook?
Yes. So, yeah.
Ever called? Yeah. Scroll.
Oh! Oh, there we go. It wasn't it.
Ah. I have no idea. What happens if you type in window.scroll? By the way, window, there are certain JavaScript globals. Window, console, and another one. And especially window is only valid inside a browser, an actual browser. It's not available on Node.js on the backend, for example, just as a side note. You can type in window scroll to also in your browser window, like on the console itself, and see what happens. Right here, you just type in window.scroll to, and then a position. That work? No? Yeah, kind of works. It's at least showing the footer.
Is it because we removed that line? I don't know. It was inherited or something. No.
You mean it's kind of overriding our hook?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The funny thing is that the only page that we were able to witness that it was not actually scrolling to the top is on the landing page.
Do
you know?
Yeah. I mean, I can double check. I will quickly check out the code where we have scroll to and where we don't. And
It's almost on. Yeah, I think it's almost on every page except for. Yeah, but it's not on the index page, for example.
I will quickly share my screen.
And then on the routes for the index, do you have this? Yeah. So that's why we started trying to see if it had something to do with this model hook, you know, which is returning a. But I don't know.
You see? No, you cannot see my screen, can you?
Let me see.
You just see black screen, do you?
Yeah.
You see Matt's screen, and my screen is just black.
Yeah.
Okay, what did I do
Yes.
wrong? Application window. Guess I have to do this. Can you see something?
Yeah, that's really cool though. That yeah, that's working.
Okay. So let's go into the folder. No, not
Did you did you stop presenting my screen for the video sec?
Yeah, I can focus which screen is.
Yeah, cool. Because yeah, I think 2 times ago I forgot to do that.
Yeah. So scroll. We have features. That's the front end test. Apparently, we're kind of testing. Scroll into view. Yeah, right. So on browsers, we're trying to bring things into the viewpoint if they're not. But here we have reset scroll position mixed in, which is an app routes broadcast, find broadcast, history, invoice, statistics, visualize diff, like almost any route I have a feeling. And yeah, it's apparently not on index. Well, I can see it, and we can also quickly. So what else do we have? We have just Ember scroll to here.
Yeah.
And once more, another test, and then just yarn lock. Okay, fine. So which branch I am on? That's another one. Check out. What's the branch name?
It's 336 underscore FAQ page or FAQ underscore page. FAQ underscore.
Yep. And here. See if everything is installed. And I guess I'm now starting Ember in another terminal. You cannot see it, but I'm just typing in Ember server. And here, let's see. Wow. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's not having this mix in. It's doing other things, but it's definitely not scrolling to the top. And should definitely share my entire screen. It's I want to show you my browser window, but I cannot do that while I have 2 screens. So I will now disable one of my screens. Boom. And stop my screen sharing and start it again, but this time my entire screen. So can you see something? Exception.
Yep.
Is the font size large enough?
Yep.
Yes.
And
oh, okay.
Host 4000 FAQ should bring me here. And yeah, this is this strange modal.
Yeah, it's dark, no?
Yeah, it's definitely very dark. It's definitely now not how it's supposed to be.
That's you can argue that hurts the readability, not helps the readability.
Maybe we should revert to this one here.
Try if you tried in Firefox, is that because that just happens to me when it's in Chrome.
There you go. Yeah, last time I think I used Firefox.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we try to do? Like we want to have an anchor, and then oh god, no, we want to have an ID. Put that into the URL and then scroll this. Yeah, who are you? So we would, for example, do something like this. Oh, hashtag.
Yeah.
Then,
and that was working when we refreshed the page or when we typed it in. I don't know if on this commit it was, but.
So what happens now? This font size is quite tiny, right?
Uh-huh.
Now it's larger. I have no idea why, but anyhow. And maybe just put in some random space. For example, what's large? Images are large, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one's really large. Oh no.
Wouldn't you need, isn't it loading that from a local source?
Yeah. There you go. Cool. So, nope. And why doesn't it work?
Could you go to the FAQ or the FA questions component and see if maybe we had changed the anchor because we were playing around with it.
We have an anchor who are you here. The component is not there because we just reverted.
Yeah, never mind. I was talking about the I was talking about the on the where the links are. I think it's FA questions, but that wouldn't make a difference because you're not actually clicking on the link. You're going directly to the.
I thought this would work. All I have to do is to put in hashtag and then, or do I have to put 1/? Oh, how about a different browser? Oh. Okay, so how about saying what is a good hook on for routes and routes activate? What is actually activate? I have no idea. Remember route hooks. Blah, blah, blah. Model, yeah. What is deactivate, enter, activate. Activate. Window, scroll. 101000. This is how we did it on your machine, right?
Yeah.
No. No. I think I'm wasting time. How about the others? Would you want to do something else? And just, I mean, I can promise to look into that. No, this works. Okay. Shall we do something else? Because I think it's something tiny and you're not learning a lot. What is your opinion on that, Mariam, Mike, and Mike?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If you want to change it, I don't mind.
Yeah, I had some questions for the issue I was working on. So, yeah, maybe later I could start asking those.
I would say, Matt, I cannot tell you what's the problem with the scrolling behavior right now. To be honest, I think this is something stupid, and I just have to spend time on it and try to fix it or try to find the reason for the behavior. But I think since it's all of us, let's do something. For example, are you okay with postponing this problem, Matt?
Yeah, for sure.
And Mike, you had questions regarding, because this is something Ruby depends. So now for something completely else, I hope you don't mind the total context switch. But Mike Zhang was working on something in the backend, and now it's something for you, Mike Ono and Mike Zhang. Because yeah, Mike Zhang, you had some questions.
Sure.
On it.
Yep. And so the issue is 390. This is for sending out a monthly email list to engage the users who basically signed up but never did much or did anything in the system, like distribute their funds or these type of things. So yeah, actually posted my questions on Slack about 2 days ago. So thanks, Robert and Matt, for answering my initial questions. So just a few more questions regarding that. Robert, I think for the pull request, you said we wanted to filter out just the users whose last login was over a month ago. I think that's what you mentioned, and I wasn't able to find anywhere that actually stored that information, like a last login. I was wondering if did that exist, or do we have to build something for that?
Yeah, good question. Great question. To give a little context for the others, the issue Mike is talking about is regular emails to increase user engagement. Problem? We have 779 users, and those are not very active, right? Oh no, 879. Sorry. Those are not very active, and we could make them more active, for example, by notifying them that something has happened. Like, I don't even know if these 870 users still do remember this application, or even know that there are people like us working on improving this application. Idea, let's notify them and notify them on a regular basis, and notify them for certain reasons. Those reasons could be, what did we say?
Yeah, basically, if they've signed on but they never distributed their funds.
Yeah.
Supported.
Yeah, I think they gave a nice list here.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we have new features since your last login. There are new broadcasts since your last login. You signed up, but you didn't support it, a broadcast. That can happen. For example, you click on Find Broadcast and you signed up, but you never clicked on the support button. I mean, this is sad, because it's one of the most important things you should do, like say which broadcast you would like to support. And we can all know that from the state of the database. And I think your question was how to find out when the user was logged in the last time, right?
Right.
There is nothing explicitly telling you when did the user last logged in. Other authentication plugins, for example, Device, Rails, have that. They have something like user last logged in, or last time when they logged in. So every time you log in, there's the server will put that into a particular attribute and save it. So you can for every user, you know when was the last time they logged in. And you can say this user didn't log in since 2 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're asking how to do that on our application, and there's nothing like that. We are using auth0 for as an identity provider. And all the information is in auth0 itself. And the only information that is exchanged between our backend and auth0 is just the email. And you could, if you want to, you could query auth0 for the last login. So this is now a completely different application. And we can see that, for example, Ivan logged in 2 days ago, right? So auth0 knows when people logged in the last time, but it's not in our backend yet. There are now 2 different solutions to it. One way, you try to ask auth0 for the last time people logged in. There is, if you can see it on my screen, there is one task no. This one here. Oh. Anyway, there is one example which I know of where we have, not front end, where we have an example how to create auth0 code. And that's when people sign up and we want to ask, we want to geocode based on their IP address. So we would like to know approximately where they are located in order to put them on a map. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one here. So no, that was this again. Anyhow, I think I should find a geocode. Yeah, there we go. So this is one way to do it. Yeah, so here you can see that we are doing an HTTP request on auth0. We put in our user token here. It's very complicated, and eventually we get last IP address of a person. This is one way of doing it. However, I would not recommend to do it like that because it's just too complicated. We could use something else. Even though we don't know when people was logged in the last time exactly, we know when people clicked on the support button or clicked on the left or right pagination buttons. I can tell you that when you're on this page here, any action that would, for example, be a click on the support button, but also a click on the next button, will trigger a backend request. Can you still follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too complicated?
No, it's fine.
No, so, yeah. Following you.
Whenever you click on any button here, you see that things are getting updated if you're logged in. I'm sorry. Okay, I have to log in first. I think that's fine. Should work. No, I have to do it with Chrome. Yeah, in Chrome, I'm always logged in with my Google account. It's too confusing sometimes when I switch windows, right? So all I want to do is to log in. So if you're logged in, now I'm logged in. Yes. If you are on this page and you do anything, including support button, click on the support button or click on next. Oh, XR, HR, yeah. So for example, if you click on next, then you can see that there are things. Ah, interesting. Okay, so in former versions of this application, you could actually see that there are impressions being saved. So we track if people see a broadcast here on this page. That happens every time you're logged in and you query the broadcast from the server. So the server will give you 6 broadcasts randomly selected, but it will also track those 6 broadcasts. So you just saw these impressions. I can prove it to you by going into the backend database. So I'm now starting the so-called console. I'm searching for my, I think it's find by, right?
I think you underscore before by, right?
Yeah, right. Sorry, find. It's Ruby. I didn't wrote Ruby for a long time. I think my Google address is robschaefer@gmail. I'm having a very common name, so that's why I have to skip certain characters. I think this nil. What?
If you just say user.last, it doesn't. Well, aren't you the last user?
I have such an old account that I'm not having Gmail, but googlemail.com account. When did Google switch from googlemail.com to gmail.com?
Before I can remember.
It's been a long time. And even back then, we had so many Robert Schaefers, so I had to say Rob Schaefer in order to get one account. Anyhow, so this is me. And this is all the attributes you have. So you can see when I first joined, that was April 2017. And the last time I updated was June 19th. So because what could be updated? Probably my country code. Yeah, my coordinates, my GPS coordinates, like my geocoded coordinates. That's actually the only thing I can. Oh yeah, and by the way, I can and of course I can also change my gender. That's Matt and Mariam's work. So this is what I can change on my side, and even my language. Okay. So every time I change those attributes, this one here will be updated. So this gives you an approximate direction, but it's not really what we want, right?
Right.
But we can make use of the fact that we know when the user has been active on this site here the last time. If we just check.
Sorry, Robert's still there?
Yeah, I'm not hearing him either.
Yeah.
Robert? Come back to us, Robert. I thought it was deep in thought, but
yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm like, it's gonna be good. So I think Miriam, were you gonna say something?
No.
I thought you were gonna say because I know Faith worked with me and also Dr. worked with me.
Yeah.
I don't remember if you worked on that feature or not, Miriam.
No, I didn't. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I thought so. Shout out to Faith. Miss you, Faith. Right.
I think, should we continue for the Paris session tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I guess we need to decide if there's something that we can do.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna rejoin us, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to having a conversation on Slack about that.
Yeah.
Because it would be nice. I would love to, but if we're gonna be productive, I don't know if. I mean, I guess it's really hard to tell whether that's gonna happen or not until you actually do it. But I also need to. I have an app I need to build for a job interview. So.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of time.
It's in C# and .NET and the stuff that I've never used before either. So it's like a little overwhelming.
Oh yeah. I also had to work in an app with technologies that I have never used. Yeah, so it took me longer.
Hey, Robert.
Hi. Sorry.
It's okay.
Fine.
Yeah. Where can I screen share? Where are you? We are here. I have to log in again. But I wanted to show that whenever you're active on this page and do just anything, like you could, if you click on any of those buttons here or click on the support buttons, this will be tracked on the backend side. And I can prove it because it's saving impressions for each of those visible broadcasts here. If you don't click on the support button, let's say what happens when you click on the support button. If you click on the support button and you are authenticated, then you can see that, boom, chuck, something is saved here, this one here. So an impression with ID 37527 is saved, and it has the response positive. That means you're supporting a broadcast. Awesome. To be precise, you are supporting broadcast number 370. Apparently, this is MDR aktuell. I don't know. Let's see. Broadcast. Yeah. Cool. So, and I can also change my mind, and then this will make this response neutral. And since we know that every time the updated ad attribute is also like updated with the current date, we can just assume, like we can take the youngest, the most recent impression of a user account to get the last time when he was active on that page.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Like where it only works for when you click on the support, because like you have to save the broadcast that the user likes, right? Sports, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the support button explicitly saves an impression, but I just tell you this like tiny little secret that even if you click on the next or back button, this will trigger impressions to be saved. No. Yeah, this one here. So in order to know which broadcasts have been seen means they have been, a user has been on the page and a broadcast was visible. Like out of our, how many? Out of our 489 broadcasts, a broadcast was visible on this page. In order to know that, we need to say for each broadcast if it was visible, right?
Yeah.
And we do that by just saving this vote, but with the attribute response neutral. That means, okay, you have seen it, but you didn't click the support button.
Does it like show those broadcasts randomly?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you sort, for example, by name. Then you can go through all the broadcasts alphabetically, right? You can also take the latest, like the one starting with Z. It's also possible, or you do it randomly. Random is the default.
Okay.
Or you can also like search only for radio broadcasts. It will definitely lower the search results, and yeah, then you see these. But all those 6 broadcasts are saved for this user account, and it it serves a different purpose because you want to know which broadcasts have been seen by the user. But we can, and for Mike Dong's feature, we can make use of that because we can just take the most recent vote, which are in our application called impressions. Let's say, okay, let's stick with the term impressions. So we just take the most recent impression of a user. Okay, and then we have the date when this user was active last time. But like, it's not actually true because if it just goes in the start page, we wouldn't be able to know. Okay.
But like, it's not when the user interacted with the application, because
Say it again.
Because you can know when the user last activity just by logging. Is it like where you want to know when the user was last active or when the user was like interacted with the application, actually supported a broadcast? So.
Yeah, we just know when the user was actively on this page, on this sub page. We don't know if when the user logged in the last time. There's another solution to find out how the user logged in the last time. Let's draw an image. Huh? Oh, no. What's this Google drawing with Google? Okay, let's draw. No. All I want is just how can I just write like draw a diagram? Seriously?
You don't have GIMP installed?
Yeah, no. But I don't know how to draw a single line. Come on. What? Oh, come on. I just want to draw a diagram. Oh.
Or you have Linux, right? You don't have LibreOffice Draw.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even have it. Okay, then you have to imagine that. So we have 3 different servers. We have OS0, we have the front end, which is the laptop of the user, and we have our backend. If the user logs in, then the user logs in at OS0. Okay, I think I have an image. Slides. I think I have it in a presentation.
It might even be on the README.
I think it's here. Yeah, there we go. Our front end, we have our backend, and we have OS0. When the user logs in at OS0, gets a token, and then sends backend requests. On Rails side, we can either make an HTTP request to get information from OS0, or we can do something else. That was what I was suggesting, to get just the most recent impression of a user. Or we could even save for every user, for every backend request, save like a date. We could, when we have a user, we could, for example, robschaefer@googlemail.com. We could have some kind of attribute here. We can say, okay, he was last login, and we set it manually in our controllers. For example, here, something like for actions set last login. That's solution number 1. And you would have to make a migration and add that attribute to the user model. Does it make sense?
Sorry, one more time. This way, could you go back to this is application controller? Okay.
And this is application controller, and I just created one method set last login to save last login for every user. And if I now refresh the page, I will get to its application, because every application or controller is the mother of all controllers. So for every request to the backend, I will hit that method here. And if I'm authenticated, I have also the current user, and I have time now, right? So if the user would have not only created it, updated it, but also last login at, or something like that, you could save that time in this field. That would be one way.
This is
actually
a complicated way using auth0, right? The first method you suggested earlier.
Yeah, just forget the first method. Like the first method was the first idea, because I knew I did it in the past, but it's actually way too complicated. This one is much more easier. Just add one attribute on the user model and save it. Like save the time, the current time, every time a user makes a backend request.
Okay.
If you don't want that, I don't know, for reasons I don't know, maybe for performance, probably this will have like a slight performance impact, because we're doing it every time. Yeah, not only on login, like for every request we save it. Okay, but yeah, and by the way, if you save this attribute, also updated at will be incremented, because it's actually you're saving. Okay, this would be solution 1. I'm fine with the solution.
We can,
yeah,
we can do the same concept, but before the login, Is that possible?
Like just doing it on login?
Yes.
Maybe? Yeah. The trick is that the backend doesn't even know when the user logs in. Like if you see here, the login is just to get this token, and the token is included in every request to the backend. The backend doesn't even know when you log in. The backend doesn't have any idea when you logged in. Like this is totally out of sight. The first time you get a request from a valid user, you are sure that this user exists and he or she authenticated. If the user does not exist, you just create it. So the first time you get a backend request with an authenticated user that does not yet exist, you basically find or create the user with the supplied ID. So the first time you make a backend request while you're authenticated, you're signed up, let's say. So there's actually no real clean way to find out when the user logs in. Like we don't know it on the backend side. There is one, if you don't like this solution here, set last login, there's another solution. That was my second thought. Like just pretend that the last login was the last time the user was active here. Oh yeah, I have to continue. Oh yeah, that's it. Now it's okay. Just anything.
I'm fine with the first method. I'm just confused how you were able to find those impressions using the browser tools, and I wasn't following completely how you're able to find like the most recent action, and just how to find that event in general where you actually looked.
Yeah, exactly. So this is on the backend side. So we are here currently in the backend folder. You see it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Rubyland.
Yeah, I had a question about that as well, because I think from the screenshots, like I was able to find my my information, but I wasn't able to like find other users' information.
Yeah, that's intended. You should not get the user information of other people on your browser. Only,
I mean, not on my browser, my terminal. So I don't know if that's what Mike is asking or not, but because then if you ask for the user's impression but you don't have any access to it, then
exactly. So since you have a clean database when you develop, the only person you will find when you say, for example, user all, will be your own user.
Yeah. So I think he's asking how you found because you did like user.count or something and had 870 or something like that.
Yeah. For
production.
Coincidentally, that's the same number of users we have on our production database. And the simple reason is from time to time, I get a dump of our production database. And that's why I have the permission to access our production server, and therefore I'm having permission to get all the user data. That's actually something I would not like to share because for data privacy reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope you understand that, like, because you would actually know from 879 people what shows they like, what they support, and I would say it's definitely not something. Like, do you understand? Like, this, yeah.
No, I don't think, like, I'm me personally. I don't think I have any reason to have access to that data. But I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speak for Mike, but I guess the question is like, how are you to proceed on like with the impressions or the last login date or whatever, without having this information?
Exactly. So if you clicked on some broadcasts, and okay, let's drop my database for a second. Migrate DB seed. So this should be the state of the database. What? Ah. So I'm now using seed data, which is fake data in a sense, and it's probably, if you're familiar with seed data, yeah. So
yeah, I think there's only one user in the seed data though.
Yeah, then create more.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question, I'm not sure if it's exactly what you were asking, Matt. It's probably related. It's just, Robert, if you go back to your browser, the console tools you had open, I'll show you. Yeah, I mean, on the right, basically, where does this point to? Is this the impressions that's in a database, or is it something else?
Yeah.
Very connected to.
So on the browser side, you're only allowed to see your own impressions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the impressions of my own user account. You can see that there are 29, and some of them are neutral, some of them are positive, but these are all mine.
You would need this Ember. You would need this extension though, right?
Yeah, if you want to debug Ember, I would definitely suggest to install the Ember Inspector, which is a browser plugin.
Mm-hmm.
But in your case, you're on the backend side and you have access to all the data, and you can see for every user every impression. And if
okay, but okay, so it was the impressions, because I wasn't I didn't follow halfway, so that's why I was confused. Where did I remember you had the XHR button.
Yep.
I was showing. I just wasn't sure if that was impressions or something else. That's why I couldn't put 2 and 2 together. But you're saying from there, it's basically tracking every navigation breadcrumb. It would show up from there, and then it would populate to the production database, right?
Reason the seed data. Now it's working. I don't get it. But can you? I was a little bit distracted. Sorry for that.
Yeah. So because what you were showing before earlier, like 15 minutes ago. Yeah, I didn't see all these windows with the impression and the other bar. All I saw was some IDs with some JSON data, and I remember one of the buttons was XHR. I just wasn't sure what that was showing. So it looks like it was the impression session IDs that you were.
All right. So every browser, Firefox and Chrome, have certain web developer tools included by default. That is the Elements tab, for example, where you can see how the HTML tree looks like at runtime. You can also see your network traffic.
Yeah,
the network traffic is the communication between the front end and the back end. You can see all the HTTP requests between those. And you can see what things there are, like what's going between front end and back end. So here you can, for example, see that the media types, radio, and what you can see here has to come from somewhere. And you can see that also stations are included here with all the names. So you can, if you select TV, for example, you can select all the seeded TV stations. That is right now just 3. But anyhow, you have, like, for this TV station, exactly 1 broadcast. And by the way, I'm now on the seeded database. So let's see what you would see if you just seed your backend database. All right. And you can perfectly log in and log out in your development environment. That's totally fine. It will create a user for you, and you will be logged in, and it will also increment the number of registered users. That works. And likewise, you can create some impressions just by clicking on those buttons here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go now to my database, I can see only 2 users. I think one was seeded and one is my current user. And one is test@example.org. And this is my user. So since I have a valid token, this user was recently created, not by the seed data, but by a backend request. All right. And this user here, user ID 3, that's mine, Rob@Google Mail. This user now, Robert, is user with ID 3. This user has impressions. Right? So since we're in Rails and you have these associations, you can get all the impressions of the user Robert. All right. How many are there? Impressions. There's 7 impressions. Okay. And this is what I mean. Like, if you want to find out the latest impressions, you can do something like sort updated at, I think it's discriminating. Oh, descending. Sorry. No, that's something discriminating, something completely different. Embarrassing. Descending. That is get order. 1. Yeah, we're in Ruby land. There we go. So nine, 7 o'clock, 49 UTC. This is 48. Yeah. So now I have all impressions so ordered by the field updated at in discriminating order. That means the first is the most recent one. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Ariam and Mike.
Yes.
Is it? I mean, that was a lot of content for today. I think I mean I got distracted myself, and I was talking, and I think I mentioned way too many different things. And
Yeah,
I guess
I still don't understand if the impressions are if an impression is it's a property of your object, or if it's something that comes with Rails, or
yeah, I see.
yeah, I think that's
so the impression is something this is the name of the join model between users. Between users and broadcasts. You have 2 users and we have 7 users. How do we know which user supported which broadcast? We need some kind of join model, right?
So it's like the clicking on the button that creates an impression.
Exactly. So
yeah, but also you can have just from what he was saying earlier, you can have neutral impressions as well. So that's why it's not called like or love or unlike or like that, because just the fact that you saw that a broadcast is there but didn't respond to it means that you have a neutral impression to it. So it's not just if you like it or don't like it. It's if you like see a piece of marketing and you don't make any reaction whatsoever to it, then your impression of it is neutral. You don't have any positive or negative impression.
Exactly. If you don't have any positive or negative feeling for a broadcast. So I'm now deleting my impressions again. So I'm like, I have no impressions. I just deleted them from my database. If I go on the page now, they are 0 because the only ones I had were 0. So I'm still logged in. I click on Find Broadcast, and boom, I will have 6 impressions. Oh, why? Why do I have 6 impressions? That's a caching problem. Yeah, there we go. So I do have 6 impressions. I just, that was a caching. So I went on the side, I saw 6 broadcasts, and now those impressions are saved as neutral. Okay. If I check out the response, all neutral. Right? If I support one of those, there's one positive. Okay. Does it make sense?
Yes.
And likewise, if I check out the updated ad, do I have pretty print or something here? So this is like our list of impressions. There's one positive, which was updated at the latest. No, there's one. No, yeah, this is the this is the response, like the return value. Last one was the one that was positive. All right. These are all. And I can like also just take, if I scroll up a little bit, you can see it. They start from here. They have my user ID. They have a response. And they, of course, like every field in Rails, we have a created at and an updated at field. And in total, there are 6 for me now. I can prove it by typing in count. That will give me 6. Do you still follow me?
So you got these 6 just from just loading a page, and those are the ones that came up? Or
yes. So this is my user account. I can ask what are the impressions by Robert. This will give me a list. And this list, I can, with Rails, I can count the list. And this will give me 6.
So whatever, right? Yeah, whatever refresh on your page, if you had navigated to the next 6 or whatever, but yeah, when you click next, okay, so you have 7.
There's 1 missing, and if I reload my impressions, and on my command line, those impressions are cached. Now we have 7.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yep.
Exactly, and this would be the other solution to it. Like, basically implement your last time user was active by impressions, order, updated at descending first. Updated at. That would be it.
Sounds good.
Oops. I'm doing wrong. Not shit. What? Ah, there we go. So this would be it. Last time I was active Wednesday, 18th of July, 7 p.m., almost 8 o'clock. Oh, we are already talking for 2 hours now. Way too long.
We did just start the broadcast an hour and a half ago, though. So.
Yep. Yeah. That'll be great.
Shall I put both the solutions into a commit and push that? Is it still helpful for you? Color hook and this impression thing? Should I put it into one?
Whichever is easier. I think if you
yeah, that's pretty much it. Application controller, that would be user login. We save traversal operator, and apparently it's ampersand dot. Yeah, looks good. So it's first dot and percent updated at. Yeah. So if this is nil, then you will have updated at of the user itself. Great. And let's put that into a commit. With and here's the commit. Your username was ubig00, right?
exactly.
Cool. I'm on. Oh no, I was detached. That work. Master. What is your branch? The branch name.
Let me check.
Pull requests.
390 _ monthly _ email list.
Yes. It's on test case. No. Oh, your GitHub account is actually NZ99.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, sorry.
I have to do it again. I kind of lost the code set last or how can I call it set last login and f set if current user. So if we are indeed authenticated, then current will update the updated ad. Right.
Cool. Thanks for that.
So this is the commit for all of you to follow that we were talking about into Slack. Now, some easy to some beginner-friendly issues, right? That was your request, Matt, right? I would even suggest that we use. By the way, Matt, you're muted.
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted.
I would, for everyone who wants to work on the backend side, a user-friendly issue is actually this one here, the one that we just talked about, because I would say you learn a lot about Rails. Like you learn about setting hooks, you learn about relations, you learn about the mapper in Rails, the SQL mapper, which is called active relation.
Active model.
Racket is a wrapper.
Yeah.
But there is also query interface. What's the name of it? Here. Yeah, so you learn about that. And you learn how to send mails. I would say that's pretty basic. So this is definitely a good issue to learn with. I would suggest that Mike Aono this time, that you can work with Mike Zhang on this issue together, if you want. Mike Aono, are you still with us? I think you're muted, Mike.
No, I think
he's not muted. He's just not hearable.
Maybe he's trying to talk, but the connection's not good.
I see. I should put it into Slack. So
I can read your message as well.
Aono, Mike, if you want to learn about Rails Ruby, I would say that issue 90. Is definitely
Mike, what time zone are you in? Yeah, you're in the same as Robert, right?
Yep.
Oh, cool. So that's pretty similar to the I think it's EAT is the one from where Mike Aono is. So it's I don't know. It's probably easier to coordinate some time to pair on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly down with working with Mike on this further.
I mean, if you let us know when you're going to do it, like if you ideally create an event, but if not, just let us know on the Slack channel. If I can, I wouldn't mind joining you because I'm definitely.
Yeah, how about that? Mike Zhang, you and I are meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. in this beer garden, and we can set up a pairing together.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't know if the internet connection is good enough to pair, but we'll find out.
Yeah, sounds good.
I mean, at least we both can pair, and Mike, Ono, we can find on the internet.
Yeah, he sent a message there on the chat just saying that he's distracted, but I think he got the message. If not, yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. I gotta go because I'm dropping into another pairing session.
Yeah, and it's been a while. Thank you so much. I hope you still enjoyed it, and even though this got way too long, you still learned.
Yes, it's really good.
Yeah, he was distracted by his daughter. Oh, so sweet. Nice. Yeah. If you have questions about anything, just get in touch. Miriam, you can also directly send me a message on or mention me on our Slack channel, for example, if you have any questions. Who is working on which issue now? So, Matt, you're working on the FAQ page.
Yeah,
you're working on issue 390. I would say the other Mike can also work on 390 if he wants, or you can work with you, Matt. Miriam, how about you? Are you still? Do you have something which you're focused on? What you would like to do?
Yeah. Nowadays, I have things that I need to finish up first, so I'll try to pick an issue on the front end after I finish. Yeah.
Just to mention real quick, we can talk on Slack, but also I found or if you maybe you could check it out, Robert. I found a plugin called Scroll to Target that maybe could be promising for us to try out. Miriam, if you want to, we can talk on Slack and see if there's time tomorrow to keep the event. If not, then
okay. I'll try to join you as well on this issue. Yeah, because like it's interesting as well. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Scroll to Target. Last commit February the 24th. Okay. Little bit a little while. 50 people like this plugin.
Yeah, it's a newer plugin, so I think. Yeah. Anyways.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
I'll look into that. So thank you so much for attending. If I can change anything regarding the moderating of the regular meeting, just tell me. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.